Yo, what is up, Raider Nation? It's your boy Samora Raider back at it again with yet another video. If you guys do enjoy Raiders content, daily content, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. With that being said, let's get started with the news of today. First things first, Patrick Graham is back in the building. The Raiders have brought Patrick Graham back as the defensive coordinator via Josina Anderson. She broke the news today saying, "I'm told the Raiders and Patrick Graham are working on a deal to bring him back as the defensive coordinator per league sources." Now, I do believe that this is real big news for the Raiders. Not only is it great to have a mind like Patrick Graham back in the building, but, it brings continuity with the team. This is somebody that a lot of these players are familiar with, and knowing that, he did get a lot of job offers elsewhere. He got interviews elsewhere, and I know he initially turned down an extension to be the defense coordinator moving forward. It's great to hear that he's going to be coming back to the Las Vegas Raiders. And it's not only good for the team in general, but it's good for all the free agents that's going to be hitting the market this offseason. We have a lot of key pieces on this defensive side of the ball that will be out in the open market, and maybe bringing back a guy like Patrick Graham that already has, that relationship with a lot of these guys. We could possibly bring every single one of them back, or at least most of those guys. Now, the key names that's going to be hitting free agency, one is Malcolm Koonce. I know Malcolm Koonce didn't really get a chance to shine this year, but seeing what he did at the end of the year, the previous season, I'm just really interested in seeing what the Raiders will do moving forward if they want to bring him back. Now, a guy that came in last season that really showed out is Jaxson, and he's another name that I feel like the Raiders should go and bring back over here into the building. And if the Raiders are able to get those two guys, Malcolm Koonce and Jaxson, I think that would be perfect for the defense. Solidifies that edge outside, opposite of Max Crosby. Then you look at the head honcho, the leader of our defense outside of Max Crosby, Robert Spillane, the number one linebacker, the best linebacker that we've had in the locker room in quite some time, a guy that can do it all, that puts us 110% on the field. He's going to be a key guy to possibly bring back. And then you got Nate Hobbs and Trayvon Merrick, who really had somewhat of a breakout season this past season. So those are some big names for the Raiders. And I know a lot of people might be wondering, why should we be excited about this, especially because Patrick Graham didn't want to come back. He's just coming back because he didn't really get any other offers out there. For me, I really don't care. I feel like he was at least trying to do his due diligence, trying to see what was out there for him. But at the end of the day, I feel like the reason why he didn't really want to have that extension is because, just like us, he was uncertain on who the head coach was going to be. Now, having a head coach like Pete Carroll, who we all know is well respected in the league and is a guy that can lead a team, that has a lot of experience, and pair him up with a guy like Patrick Graham, a defensive minded head coach, I think that this would do wonders for the team moving forward. And I think Patrick Graham, seeing that, would want to be a part of this as well. And it's also great for a guy like Max Crosby, who has been, having to go through different coordinators every single year. It seems like almost every single year. So having the continuity on the team already and seeing how the defenses looked under him, I know last season was a bit iffy, but you look at the season before when Antonio Pierce took over as the interim head coach, that defense really shined. And last year we had a lot of injuries on the defense side of the ball, so I can't really blame the defense for not really showing up 100%. But we do have a lot of dogs on the team right now, and I feel like with Pete Carroll in the building already right now and the influence that he has, as well as John Spicek as a GM, I feel like we're going to add even more weapons to this defensive side of the ball, and we're definitely going to have some dogs out there no matter what the name is. I got a lot of trust in this team, and you know what? I'm really happy with this move. Welcome back to the silver and black, my boy Patrick Graham. Now, another coordinator that the Raiders brought back is Tom McMahon. They have brought him back as a special teams coordinator. According to Tom Pelissero, he broke the news saying that the Las Vegas Raiders are retaining Tom McMahon as their special teams coordinator. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, this is not really any exciting news, but hey, just like Patrick Graham, we're bringing back some continuity to the team. I know that the special teams really struggled last year with a lot of things going on. At the end of the day, I'm just looking at it as, just the relationships that he already has on this team, and hopefully we do better next year. I mean, there's only one way to go, and that's up, especially for this team. And when you do have stars on the team like Daniel Carlson and AJ Cole, I mean, I feel like the special teams is going to be in good hands anyways. Kudos to Tom McMahon for being able to stay on the coaching staff for 3 different regimes. He was brought on by Josh McDaniels. He stayed on board with AP, and now he's being brought back under Pete Carroll. Like I said, continuity is really huge for this team. So I can't really complain about this, but just hope for the best in the future. Now, I know that one of the most important coaches that we're going to have to hire is going to be the offensive coordinator. And we don't really have much, but one name has been brought up a lot and has been, I guess, the favorite to get the job if Pete Carroll went in this direction, is Dolphins quarterback coach and former Seahawks offense coordinator under Pete Carroll, Darrell Bevell. According to Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport, reports say that Bevell has a strong chance to be hired as the OC. Bevell has been an OC for a very long time, most notably with the Seahawks from 2011 to 2017 under new Raiders head coach Pete Carroll. Now, you look at his history with Pete Carroll, they've had some good years, and I know that they had a bit of a falling off at the end of that tenure, which I think that they both have a good relationship now. And I know that there's a lot of people out there kind of questioning this acquisition, whether or not the Raiders actually hire him or not. I still feel like he has a lot of experience as an offense coordinator. And I mean, having one of the worst offense coordinators, and I feel like the past decade with Luke Getsy, it can't get any worse, right? I mean, knock on wood though. But you look at his history, especially his relationship with Pete Carroll. He joined Pete Carroll in 2011. And, you know, during his time over there with the Seahawks, that team only missed the playoffs twice under him. That was the first season and the last season that he was there. Now, they did go on to win the NFC West 3 times. They had 2 Super Bowl appearances, should have won 2 Super Bowls, but they ended up winning 1 Super Bowl. He was eventually fired by Pete Carroll, and then he became the offense coordinator for the Lions and the Jags. Didn't really do much over there, but spent the last 3 seasons with the Dolphins as their quarterback coach. And he was one of the key pieces to that offense, really having that high-powered offense with Tua Tagovailoa and even Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They were able to have one of the best offenses that we've seen in recent history. So if the Raiders at the end of the day were to bring Darrell Bevell over here to reunite with Pete Carroll, I don't think I would be too excited about it, but I can't be mad at the experience that he does provide. I just kind of hope that the Raiders can go out there and still do their due diligence, trying to find another offense coordinator, maybe a younger offense coordinator, somebody that we could trust and see becoming the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Or heck, maybe Patrick Graham could possibly be that guy for the Raiders moving forward if we move on from Pete Carroll in the next 4 years or whatnot. Now, one thing that's going to be interesting is if the Raiders do end up bringing Darrell Bevell here to reunite with Pete Carroll, there is a possibility, there's a consideration amongst a lot of people that they could maybe bring Russell Wilson over here to Las Vegas just to get the whole gang back together. And I know Russell Wilson has been a name that not a lot of people want to talk about, that Raidernation doesn't want to have over here. And there's been a lot of reports of him being a strong option for the Raiders at the quarterback position, at least for a veteran quarterback. And, I'm going to continue to say this, whether you guys like it or not, because it's just my opinion. I respect everybody's opinion, but I wouldn't mind Russell Wilson being the next quarterback for the Raiders, at least as a veteran bridge option for this team. He already knows the system. He already knows Pete Carroll. He has that relationship there, and I think that he's better than any of the quarterbacks that we've brought since we let go of Derek Carr these past couple of years. And as a mentor, a guy that can teach a young guy, if we go out and get Jalen Moreau, if we go out and get a Jaxson Dart, then he'd be a perfect quarterback / coach for whoever we bring in to take over as the future franchise quarterback. But that's just me though. Now, Pete Carroll was actually asked this earlier today, and he addressed, the possible Russell Wilson reunion over here in Las Vegas. And he also talked about, maybe the possibility of Marshawn Lynch as a coach on the sidelines.
So what are your plans, and might there be any chance of a Russell Wilson reunion?
Right now, Susie, it's so early. I mean, we're just in the midst of just trying to, find the puzzle pieces, not even putting them together yet. So I can't even say. I mean, guys are still, free agency hasn't come yet. That's the first competitive opportunity that will occur. And then the draft is coming. We'll have that opportunity to do things. I can't tell you right now. I mean, I could guess, but it would just be a guess. But I promise you, if you're a real competitor, you're not letting options get away from you. So we're going to consider every option as a possibility, and we're going to go after it very aggressively.
Could we possibly see Marshawn Lynch on the sidelines as a coach? Am I going to break any stories here?
Well, I don't know that. I don't know that he'll be as a coach. He may be on the sidelines. I'm sure he's going to be with us.
Now, I do got to give some credit to Pete Carroll, though. I think that he's just trying to keep his cards close to him, and he's not trying to expose anything right now, which I guess, like I said, is a smart move for him. We still got a lot more weeks to go. Free agency is going to be in a couple of months, and I feel like right now they're just trying to get acclimated right now, just getting in Las Vegas. But to say that the Raiders are going to go out there and get somebody off the cuff, even with all the reports going around, I don't think would be a smart move. Now, I do love the fact that he did say, you know, he's considering every option as a possibility. I think you should do that with anybody. So if there was a quarterback out there that is linked to Pete Carroll the most, it's definitely Russell Wilson. And there's a possibility that, you know, Geno Smith could be a trade target for this team if they want to go in that direction. Now, since we're talking about the quarterback position, and that's going to be one of the most important positions for the Raiders this offseason, there is reports also going now, according to Tony Pauline, that the Raiders are expected to trade up for a quarterback, saying they also expect Spytek and the Raiders will be one of the teams working hard to move up into one of the top 2 spots at the top of the draft so they can select a quarterback. I mean, if the Raiders didn't end up beating the Saints and the Jaguars, we wouldn't even have to trade up to get a quarterback. But you know what? It's all okay. Well, you know, all that aside, we all know that quarterback is a big need for the Raiders, and finding that next guy is going to be really crucial. But if there's anybody that I trust, it's definitely Pete Carroll and John Spytek. But to trade up to the top 2 spots in the NFL draft is going to be kind of hard for this team, and we would have to give up a lot to move up. Now, I don't know how much specifically, but it's definitely going to be multiple first-round picks and possibly a star player. And I just hope that Max Crosby's not a part of that deal, because I want to see him stay with the team and retire as a Raider. Now, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are the best options for the Raiders at quarterback, especially if they want to sit under a bridge quarterback. But maybe the Raiders don't have to trade up for one of those guys. There might be a possibility one of them falls, but then we can't take that chance. If it was up to me in the draft, I wouldn't even move up for them. I would draft best player available and go get your quarterback in the 2nd round, or move up late in the 1st round and get your guy, whether it's Jalen Moreau, whether it's Dylan Gabriel, whether it's Jaxson Dart, whoever it may be. I think that's the best possibility, or the best direction that I would go in. And again, since we're still talking about the quarterback position, Jaxson Dart has been the favorite amongst the Raider Nation to get in the draft, whether it's in the 2nd round, 3rd round, wherever you can get him. I think that Jaxson Dart's stock is going to rise in these next coming weeks and these next coming months leading up into the draft, and he could possibly be the guy that we select at number 6 if his draft stock does rise that high. But shout out to Vinny B. He was over there at the Senior Bowl, and he got to ask Jaxson Dart on how he feels about reuniting with JPJ over here in Las Vegas.
What were your thoughts about maybe reuniting with Jaxson in
Yeah, I
Las
would love
Vegas?
that. That's my boy. You know, obviously people know us as his high school teammates, and he was my center, and he's such a hell of a talent. Every year I was trying to get him out of Oregon and have him come play with me, but you know, it'd be amazing, and with it also being close to home, would be a great opportunity.
Now, trust me, I do believe that this would be the best quarterback for the Raiders if we don't trade up, and I just could see the writing on the wall. You know, Jaxson Dart, selected by the Las Vegas Raiders, coming over here with all the weapons that we have on this team to be under center with JPJ, and with the plethora of weapons that we're going to bring in over here. We got Brock Bowers here, we got Jacoby Myers, and who knows what the Raiders do in free agency or even in the draft. If the Raiders play their cards right, if Pete Carroll can land the right veteran quarterback and bring in Jaxson Dart, the sky's the limit for this team, and it just makes me more excited about this offseason. But with all that being said though, Raider Nation, man, let me know what you guys think about all this latest news that just came out just today and even yesterday. What are your thoughts on Patrick Graham coming back, Tom McMahon coming back? How do you feel about Darrell Bevell possibly becoming the next offensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders? And what do you feel like is the best situation for the Raiders at the quarterback position, whether it's going out and getting Russell Wilson or another quarterback, or drafting, trading up in the draft, getting Jaxson Dart? Let me know your thoughts all down in the comments below. With that being said, I ain't gonna waste any more of you guys' time. Until the next video, this is your boy Small Raider and your boys. Yeah.